Hello, my name is Don, and welcome to Follow episode 23, my Football Manager Let's Play with Rangers. Today we have our last episode before the January transfer window. It's slightly sooner than I would have anticipated, but I want to do an episode just so the next episode isn't quite as cluttered and as long. So I've chose this game with Partick Thistle. It's not the last game before the window, but the last one is Aberdeen, and I feel we've covered Aberdeen quite a lot. So, Partick Thistle, the team that's getting a lot of complaints on the official forums about how well they're doing on Football Manager, and it just seems to be a perfect storm of the right players for the right tactics with the right manager. That said, they do not have that right manager in this save. He moved on to Hearts. So, since the last game against Olympiacos, we have had a number of games. We've had two slip-ups. We drew against Rafe. This was disappointing. We were absolutely in control of this game. How we did not absolutely decimate them is very frustrating. We could have literally, we were all over them. They did have a lot of clear-cut chances, but nonetheless, we absolutely destroyed them. We responded with a 5-1 win away to Kilmarnock. Very good performance overall. Second half in particular was very pleasing, but really 5-0 was actually pretty 5-1 was actually pretty flattering for Kilmarnock. We just pounded on their goal. Then another disappointing 0-0 draw against Hibernian. Now, this game literally on the performance of it was one of the most fantastic games I've ever watched. And I say that about a 0-0. This game could have been 6-7 either way, and it would have been a more reflective scoreline. There was chances galore both ways. I had to adjust my tactics to try and account for their counter-attacks. It was just absolutely fantastic to watch. Overall, disappointing to only pick up a point, but it could have been worse. Then we had Partick Thistle away. They didn't really show up until they had a man sent off, to be honest. They had a little late showing. I had to change my tactics a little bit to sit back and just try and soak up the pressure that they were putting on us. And then we hit them on the counter. Zach Run came off the bench for 2 assists. Taiwo, again, returned to the team really for the last 2 games and didn't really impress me that much, if I'm honest with you. It's disappointing because he's been so good throughout the season. The other thing I want to show you, now I don't know where I'll find it, but hopefully selection info, goals, here we are. So, look at this. 4 players above 10 goals, including our right back. Now, people will say this isn't realistic. He scored 16 goals in real life last season. Was at a lower level, but obviously he's now had 3 seasons to adjust to this level, and so many of them are free kicks, and I think one's a penalty. Rudden on 13, Jamie Walker on 12, James Tavernier and Taiwo on 10, respectively. And then Barry Mackay and Maitland-Niles both getting goals as well, considering how their rotating position is actually quite good. Maitland-Niles, stat-wise, I'm just struggling to get the best out of him, to be honest, and I think if a bid comes in January, it might be the right time to let him go. Ryu will be away for a month as well in the Asian, I think it's the Asian equivalent of the Asian Cup of Nations, so the African Cup of Nations equivalent. So he's away for a month on international duty next month, but again, couple of goals there and large number of assists. I think he might actually be our top assister. He is. Barry Mackay, Maitland-Niles and Willock and Rossiter all up there. Texeria as well. He just got his first goal for the club against Kilmarnock, a nice brace, and McGinn up there as well. So appearance wise, McGinn and McCrory and Tavernier, the sort of the big guys that are in there consistently. It's a bit frustrating to see that Cammy Kerr just cannot step up to Tavernier's plate, really, and it's disappointing. Lee Wallace is also injured for this game, so Brian Davidson, who now wants to stay at the club, I've offered him a new contract. He hasn't accepted it yet, but hopefully he will. He said he wanted a big pay rise. He's not really asked for a big pay rise to it, though. He's just asked for a little one, which was a bit strange, and he wants to play cup games, which I agreed to. He will play a number of games in the league as well. He has been getting a lot of games, which is why he's dropping it. 7 games, as you can see, and 1 Champions League game off the bench, and a Betfred Cup game. So I'm hoping that his development now starts to kick on now that he's starting to get a bit happier. He was obviously very unhappy when I turned down those bids. Sadly, no such change for Alan Brown, who already had the deal agreed. Lewis Vaughan, look at this. He's had a number of games now, three games and 3 off the bench, and he's still not scored. And that's including 4 off the bench in the Champions League, which probably suits him a bit more because he's maybe a bit more physical than the likes of Rudden and Taiwo. But again, I think it's time to just let this man go. We'll try and find another couple of strikers because obviously the Matthew Knox situation that I mentioned in the last episode as well is a problem. Elsewhere, Michael Devlin's had a bit of game time, but again, a little bit unlucky to keep getting injured. Alan Musturk got his first goal for us from a free kick. Look at those free kick stats, by the way. 16 long shots and 15 free kick taking. It's absolutely phenomenal. It doesn't really, the way I play, I don't like my fullback, my centre back getting forward because I have no one to cover for them, so I like them to sit really far back. So maybe that long shot trait's a bit wasted on him in our team, but nonetheless a good player to have. His performances for us have been a bit hit and miss, but nonetheless it's okay. Worries about players leaving. Zach Rudden's wanted by Fulham. Now he's got a £10 million release clause. If I sell him for £10 million, we will find another striker fairly routinely. Other than that, I'm actually fairly happy with him. Brian Davidson's wanted by a number of clubs, Everton and Sunderland right now. Sam Allardyce, the Everton manager, in this game just came to watch him. And Vincent Sasso is wanted by Sunderland as well. Again, he's got a £4.5 million release clause, which is a bit disappointing. Chris Willock as well, another one with a release clause. Now, he had £1.1 million, and it came in a news item saying that his value now exceeded that, and there was a chance that we would lose him. I tried to negotiate more than £3.5 million. His agent was just a twat. I do apologise if you hear my daughter in the background. She's obviously just sitting playing. But yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select my team. I will be back in a second and I will just try and calm her down a little bit. Nonetheless, I will see you in a second. Okay, so we're back. I've literally just clicked the button at the top twice and selected the team. I brought Zach Rudden in and Chris Willock in. Ryu was a bit tired and Zach Rudden pressed off the bench in the last game. A little bit tempted to bring Rossiter off as well, but I'm going to go with what we've got. Kind of want to bring Sass off as well, but I don't at the same time. So let's get into this game. We've got Tavernier back. Cam Kerr's played quite a lot of games in these last sort of 5-6 games. But a win here and a good result for Rafe would see us go top. We do have a very comfortable goal difference on Celtic. We just need to get the 3 points. Sadly, we would have had those 3 points if we didn't slip up in those 2 draws. They've still got Chris Doolan still kicking away. We're going to kick him a little bit. I'm also going to kick Bannigan. He's a bit more of a defensive minded player, but he's certainly one that can dictate the play for them. And I'm going to kick Stephen Lawless. Anyone else I want to kick? Not really. So let's get on with the game. Passionate, we are favourites. And then just the old fashioned, I have faith. I'm actually going to do this one separately because I don't want to get up those greens that I've already got, and then it's just a striker, I'll just do it there. So, a lot of greens there. Partick Thistle at home. I think we've done Partick Thistle maybe once or twice in this recording, but certainly a lot less than Aberdeen, so I felt this was a better game to choose. The other thing of note that I should have mentioned in the sort of this opening intro of the video, well, not the opening intro, but the sort of the talking about the situation at the club. We drew Galatasaray in the Europa League. Celtic also went through to the knockout stages and they drew Lyon. So, good for the coefficients that both of us made it through again. Hopefully we can get into a spot where we get that 2 Champions League spots, because that would be absolutely huge for the game in Scotland. Brian Davidson to McGinn right now. He plays it to Jamie Walker. Back to McGinn. And Walker linking up nicely, but think he needs to find a pass here. He does, and he doesn't. Oh, but it's worked out. Okay, Chris Willock was on his toe. It's not, because Jamie Walker just sort of is sleeping. And that's an over-the-top through ball, and it's found Doolan. And a decent save from McCrory, but near post he should be making it. He's been a bit hit and miss, McCrory. He makes some very bizarre mistakes, and then the next game he'll make 3 or 4 absolute wonder saves, which is a bit bizarre. Daughter's calmed down a bit now as well. She dropped her toy previously, which I hadn't noticed, and that's why she maybe was a bit gurney in the earlier part of the episode. So hopefully that will calm her down a bit because she couldn't reach it. Chris Willock comes in, and that's a goal. 1-0. She's dropped her toy again. Okay. I'm going to apologise, guys, as Chris Willock scores. If you hear her, I do apologise. She won't cry too much. She's just sort of try to get that toy she dropped. Which I will sort out, obviously, after I've done this episode. I wouldn't normally be recording right now, but I just want to get this January transfer window done, and I want to make sure I've got a video out before the window, just so it's not at the post window one isn't as cluttered, because I think there's going to be quite a bit of business. We've still got quite a bit of transfer budget to do, and I think we've got maybe 3 or 4 players that already agreed to join us in January. And I will be looking at a lot of pre-deals for next summer as well. Particularly now that I expect us to be in Europe next year. We should be getting a reputation boost of the Champions League and the Europa League group stage knockouts. We're 1-0 up right now from Chris Willock's goal. I'm going to just say don't get complacent, because that seems to be working. It didn't work this time. I'm just going to try and restart this with you weren't bad but you can do better sort of thing. Any fitness issues? Sasso. I hate defensive subs. And Rossiter. I'm actually going to bring Rossiter off for Jack Thompson now. Jack Thompson's developing into a very, very good young player that's going to be able to rival Rossiter long term for that position. I'm actually very comfortable playing him in almost any game now as well, so that's a positive thing. Tavernier not getting the better of Wallace there, frustratingly. Nonetheless, it was a nothing highlight. I'm going to give Sasso another little while, and then I'm going to have to bring on Declan Rice. I'm not happy about it, but his fitness levels are just so low. We've got Aberdeen coming up, and that's a big game. I think all my subs here are actually going to be dictated by fitness, to be honest. A lot of my subs this season have been. Which is frustrating. I've been able to make some tactical changes in some games, but oh, nearly a bit of luck there, but the keeper Czerny makes a good save. Yeah, I've not been able to make sort of like any tactical changes or impact subs in a lot of games where I've just been trying to rotate players out where both players are in a position are tired, and I feel like I'd got the depth maybe about right as well, and it just doesn't seem to have been the case. So the last sub here is going to be Texeria for Jamie Walker. Texeria plays. I've been trying to get him into this midfield role because I feel like he could be so good there. The sort of the McGinn position. But in this more advanced role, he just comes to life. He's not got the best shooting, which is frustrating because you really need it in that role, but he's so creative and a bit of luck and running, and he's just been having a nightmare in front of goal of late. That should have been a goal. And that's sort of why I've been trying to get Timu playing a bit more, because no Timu, Taiwo playing a bit more, because both of them were very capable of scoring, but Taiwo just seems to have been a bit better in front of goal. But Rudden, as of late, has just struggled, and I don't know really why. I have changed my tactics a little bit. It's not much, it's just a couple of individual tactics, just like the Texeria role right now, or the Walker role on a free roam. McCrory's distribution's been changed a bit for both the formations. I actually didn't even realise you could change the goalkeeper's distribution. I should have, but I seen another video of a guy doing it, and oh, their goalkeeper's up. Their goalkeeper's up. More break! No, it's an open goal if you break. Ah, the keeper will be back in net now. That's frustrating, but yeah, so I didn't realise you could do it. I should have noticed it, but I didn't, and I seen another video where a lad changed his distribution, and I wasn't really that happy with the distribution. I kept it the same for the 4-5-1 because it gets the ball further forward quicker, but it's sort of more of a steady play out now, which works with the play out of defence, I think. Cam, don't really feel like that was a great performance, but whatever. I'll just say nice win. 21 shots on target, and we scored 1. How did we get man at... Let's have a look. Match stats. 2 clear-cut chances, 4 half chances. They had 2. 21 shots on target, 3 hits the woodwork, 29 shots. Go and tell me their goalkeeper got a 6.8 against 20... Okay. Okay. I am done. I said I didn't think it was a very good performance, but when you get 29 shots and 21 on target, it's very difficult to be critical of it. Nonetheless, we win 1-0. I didn't see what the Celtic result was. They comfortably beat Rafe, so they've got a bit of the goal difference back on us as well. So that leads the league table looking like this. We are 3 points behind. Hearts have sort of slipped behind a little bit recently, so they've struggled to maintain the pace that like Hibs did last year. Nonetheless, I feel we're only a few slip-ups away from them. And if you actually look, we're now after Christmas. That was the Boxing Day game, and Celtic still haven't lost a game. The only game we've lost is to Celtic. So it's really showing how important those Old Firm games are going to be this season. I said last season we won the league based off of the Old Firm games. That was the difference for us. This year we've lost the only Old Firm game that we've played so far, and it's the result in that we've lost one between the Old Firm teams. We've lost 1 game. Let's have a look at some league stats just before we go, because this isn't the longest episode. We've got 58% average possession. We've got the most amount of penalties. I think we've actually gave quite a lot away as well. We've also scored all 4 as well. Penalties conceded, there's a stat for that somewhere. There is a stat for that. Goals scored, we are absolutely scoring everyone. Cross completion ratio, we are a bit average. I think a lot of that's Maitland-Niles, to be honest. He's got 9 crossing, and it's just not good enough. But we do have quite high crosses completed, not as high as Celtic or Hibs, but still reasonably decent. Goals from direct free kicks. Look at that. Combine the rest of the league together, and we have scored more direct free kicks. And the reason for that is we've got James Tavernier, who's got 17 free kick taken. We've got Ozturk, who's got 15. Jamie Walker scored 1. I'm not actually sure what his free kick stats is. We've got 5 from indirect free kicks. Pass completion ratio is 82%. Passes completed is actually lower than Hibs, which is a bit interesting. Fouls against, we are the highest in the league. Dribbles per game, no. I'm sure there's a thing for penalties. Conceded, we are 3rd best defence in the league, which is a bit disappointing that teams are above us. Clean sheets, Celtic obviously in the front. We are joint 2nd with Dundee and Hearts respective. Fouls made, penalties conceded, here we go. So we have conceded 2, both have been missed. McCrory saved 1 and the other one hit the bar, and Rossiter cleared the rebound. So we've scored 4 of our penalties and not conceded the 2 that we've given away, which is very, very good. Tackles 1, that's interesting. I thought that'd be a bit higher. Interceptions, that would be individual. So average attendance, we are 2nd right now. We're only 200 behind Celtic, who have a far, far bigger stadium. I really do want to get this stadium increased, but as you can see, attendance by capacity, us and Hearts really do need to have a bigger stadium, and we both could manage a bigger stadium, I think. Both at 97 and 98 respective, and that's a very good place to be. And if you look at the sellouts again, 5 and 4 for us and Hearts, so it's a very, very positive things. And if you look at the salary per annum, the board keep praising me for my wage budget control. Now I've looked at other Rangers saves on YouTube, and one of them's at the stage that I'm watching, I'm a bit behind, is well over their wage budget, and the other one sort of always has been maxing out consistently. I've watched all his episodes, but it's always been sort of at the upper echelons of it. Whereas I've always been a good, since really I took over, I've always been a good sort of 80k below it, which is a good place to be, and our balance is maybe showing healthy for that. because I think I've spent more money in the transfer window because I have against those other series because I have requested that the board goes out and signs someone. Nonetheless, I will wrap this episode up here. I will do the January transfer window, and the next episode we'll go through that, and then the following one I'll go through the sort of the league and the player standings just so far. Although I might just hold that off until the end of the season review and just do sort of a big massive end of season review. Nonetheless, if you enjoyed this, a like and subscribe is always welcome, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.